Well, good Tuesday. It is Tuesday, correct? Well, good Tuesday or Monday morning. What day is it? I'm losing my mind. Monday morning. Sorry, I'm just now getting back from vacation, but good Monday morning. We are here to talk about the snow drought that we do have ongoing across South Central. Despite the cooler weather that we have been seeing across the region, we've got another warming trend heading our way across the state. Now, giving you a live look at what we're seeing as you step outside. It is mostly clear skies, and we're going to see plenty of sunshine sticking around through a large portion of this week. We have been dealing with those temperatures fairly warm for quite some time. Now, despite the recent cool down, December is going to close as one of the warmest we've seen in quite some time. Not only that, but we're also going to be talking about one of the snowless Decembers we've seen in quite some time. We'll be breaking that down for you coming up here in the next couple of minutes. But for right now, you can see stepping outside, things beginning to transition back to somewhat of a seasonal weather pattern across the state. You can see those wind chills this morning are those temperatures 16 below in Fairbanks, 24 below in Utqiagvik, 20 below in Dead Horse. Meanwhile, as you head out towards southeast, we've got those temperatures in the 20s and the 30s. And of course, the Aleutians. This is where we continue to hold on to that active and warmer weather pattern. And for the foreseeable future, that's where we're going to continue to hold on to some of those warmer conditions. But as we've been seeing here over the past couple of days, we are beginning to tap into some of those cooler conditions for a large portion of the state. But we continue to remain snowless for a large portion of South Central. Now out towards southeast into the interior, the snow season as a whole has been pretty healthy and actually above average for parts of the state. Here in South Central, it is an entirely different story. So this is what we have ongoing across Alaska. We do have that ridge of high pressure that is greatly influencing not only those clear skies that we're seeing, but that's allowing those temperatures to bottom back out well below zero for many locations. Notice out towards the Bering and to our south, this is where we continue to see that active weather that will remain with us through the remainder of today. And that's also where we're holding on to some of those windier conditions. As a result, as you head out towards Savunga, Gamble, St. Lawrence, and parts of the western Arctic coast, there is a winter weather advisory that remain in effect through the remainder of today, as winds up to 40 miles per hour could lead to some areas of blowing snow and reduced visibility. Out towards the Aleutians, winds have been gusting anywhere from about 20 to 50 miles per hour. Pretty typical each and every day to see those winds. Nothing significant to be talking about for the Aleutians outside of those gusty winds and some areas of rain that we will stick around through the remainder of today. And of course, as you head through the interior out towards Delta Junction, Big Delta, that area surrounding those locations, continue to see the potential for some of those winds gusting up to 40 miles per hour. That will lead to some bitter cold wind chills for parts of the state where we could see wind chills reading as low as about 50 to 75 below in some locations of the parts of the state. So keep that in mind here over the next couple of days as we do begin to tap into some of those colder conditions. One thing I want to bring your attention to out towards southeast, not seeing any significant winds right now. However, into the evening hours, overnight on into your Tuesday, as we welcome in New Year's Eve, we are going to be talking about the potential for those Taku winds to kick back in. As you know, those winds can be pretty gusty and pretty loud through the overnight hours, so be prepared for that possibility out towards Juneau and surrounding locations to see those Taku winds kick in overnight on into your New Year's Eve. But looking at those at the state as a whole, as we've been talking about, we are transitioning back into somewhat of a colder weather pattern for the state. But notice out towards the open waters of the Bering, as you head out towards the Aleutians, the Gulf of Alaska, and out towards southeast, this is where we continue to hold on to fairly warm weather compared to what we typically see for this time of year. Mainland Alaska, this is where we are tapping into those colder conditions. And as we close out December, we are going to continue to hold on to this colder weather pattern for a good portion of Alaska. But much like we've seen for a large portion of December, there will be a return to those highs, climbing back near or above freezing for South Central. We'll see warmer weather returning through parts of the interior as well. And with that being said, here in South Central, we could be talking about the potential for more rain and snow mix in the forecast as we transition into January. So it certainly is a season or a winter season that is not what we've been dealing with the past couple of years. Notice the last 2 years, we saw well over 100 inches of snowfall. So far for this season, we have yet to make it to 30 inches for the season. And you've seen that stepping outside, seeing many comments from across South Central when it comes to getting out, doing some snow machines, getting out on those ski runs, noticing the lack of that snowfall out there. And we're going to continue to see the potential for that snow to remain on the lower side. So looking at the overall forecast for the state, you can see mainland Alaska, quiet. Nothing to talk about in terms of precipitation. We're going to continue to remain sunny, dry, and cold as we close out this year. Out over the open waters of the Bering, through parts of the Alaska Peninsula, eastern parts of the Aleutians. This is where we're going to continue to hold on to that active, warm, and windier weather pattern, even out toward Kodiak, where we're going to see the potential for some heavy rainfall. With that said, extreme southern parts of the Kenai could be clipped by the potential for seeing some light snowfall activity, but still don't think that's going to be possible due to the dry nature of the atmosphere. But if that occurs, it will bring little to no accumulation from New Year's Eve on into New Year's Day. But you can see mainland Alaska as a whole continuing to remain fairly quiet, and that brings us to our Anchorage snow for this season. Snowfall total 28.7 inches. Normal season to date sitting at 35.8 inches. If you remember, back in October, we started off the year and we're like, wow, we've already seen 21.5 inches of snowfall. Since then, we've only picked up just over a half a foot of snow since late October. And so that's that snow drought that we've been talking about. And looking ahead as we close out this year and then welcome in next year, there's still signs that we are going to continue to see a lack of some snow across a large portion of the South Central. In fact, looking at December as a whole, the lowest December totals on record goes to 1980 at 1.4 inches. There is no more snow in the forecast for South Central this year. And you can see for December, we're sitting at 1.9 inches of snowfall for Anchorage. A typical December brings roughly 18 to 20 inches of snow. And so, yeah, we've been dealing with a snow drought. We've been talking about this for well over a month, alerting you to the fact that December was going to be fairly dry and warm, and that is what it is shaping up to be. And I'll go ahead and give you an early outlook for January. It's shaping up to be fairly warm and likely more in the way of a rain-snow mix with any of those events that we will see. So shaping up to be a fairly snowless season across a large portion of South Central. Of course, with that said, there is still a lot of winter time left to go. We tend to see a lot of our snowfall between January, February, and March. But as we've already mentioned, January is shaping up to be a little bit on the drier side. Now, as we welcome in the first week or two of January, we will see that potential for slightly above average precipitation. But as we welcome in late next week, beyond Sunday of next week, we're going to see those temperatures warm back into the low to mid 30s. And that is where we're going to see that potential for some rain snow mix in the forecast. And you can see as we head through the rest of January and then from January through March, we're actually looking at a downward trend in precipitation and possibly holding on to below normal precipitation for a large portion of the winter season. Of course, with that being said, a lot can change between now and then, but the overall weather pattern continues to favor much of what we saw for December. So for today, we're going to see a high of 17 below in Fairbanks, 21 below in Utqiagvik, 16 degrees in Nome, 38 out towards Unalaska, continuing to hold on to that warm, wet, and windy weather typical for this time of year out towards the Aleutians with those daily highs pushing 40. And then, of course, out towards southeast, those temperatures sitting in the 30s as well, outside of Ketchikan, which we'll see a nice day right around 40 degrees. And another reminder out towards Juneau and surrounding locations, those Taku winds will kick in tonight, or that possibility for them. And as you notice, they can be quite loud and tumultuous, so be prepared for that likelihood that you could see some of those objects blowing around. And we could even see the possibility for some power outages. Now, that 7-day forecast, while we will close out the year with those temperatures sitting in the teens and the 20s, again, beyond Sunday of next week, this is where we're going to see those temperatures warm back near or above freezing, and that is where we're going to be watching for that potential for some rain and snow in the forecast. For now, there is absolutely nothing in the forecast precip-wise for a large portion of South Central outside of southern parts of the Kenai, which will see that potential for a light possible chance of some snowfall. Little to no accumulation expected with that. Outside of that, no other area across South Central. Looks like we'll see any snow in the forecast. We'll see a mix of sun and clouds through a large portion of this week, but that ridge of high pressure will reign supreme as we close out this year and welcome in next year. Temperature-wise, again, staying near 20 degrees, but those temperatures are going to continue to stay on the warmer side as we welcome in January. Certainly going to continue to keep you updated with the possibility of if we'll see some snow as we welcome in next year. We'll have more on this coming up in the noon show as well as in the evening newscast about what to expect when it comes to this drought or snow drought that we've been up under for quite some time. But for now, make sure you have a great Monday. You can see those temperatures today expected to top out right around 21 degrees, giving you another live look outside overlooking Eagle River. You can see a beautiful view of Sleeping Lady off in the distance, that snow-capped Sleeping Lady. Crystal clear skies today with just a few clouds in the sky. We are going to see those temperatures through the overnight hours dropping down into the teens, afternoon highs in the 20s. At least we've got some sunshine to go along with what snowfall we do have on the ground. Again, we'll have more on this coming up in the evening newscast. For now, have a great Monday.